I think a lot about life over 50. Lately, I turned 50 last year. I didn't quite know what to expect. I've always felt like I had an older spirit. Sometimes that worked to my advantage, sometimes to my disadvantage. But now I'm actually at that point in my life, and something that has surprised me a little bit is how paradoxical this time is. So the older I get, I do feel more grounded in my experience. And I would say that I feel my age in that regard. But I also feel like I'm going backwards in time to my to my younger self, meaning that I have moments of feeling 10 years old again. I have moments of feeling 5 years old again. There's that sense of um, reconnection with the younger me, the little girl me, the me that I was, so many long years ago, and feeling a very close connection with that little girl, and that has really taken me by surprise. And there are times when what that feels like is feeling really vulnerable. And I do hear people say this, people over 50, over 60, as we get older. There is that sense of, going back to older versions of who we were, and seeing all the ways we've recreated ourselves over time, and just taking time to really assess where we are now, and looking ahead at where we're going. And our we're faced with our own mortality, and none of us knows how much time we've left. So and that's the case for anyone, no matter how old you are. But you really start thinking about it, it gets real, when you get to a certain point in your life. And so, for me, I start thinking about the quality of time that I have, and it's not, it's less about jamming more into my moments, but rather really being more thoughtful about the moments that I have. What am I doing? How am I doing it? How am I moving in the world? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Am I experiencing life, or am I just kind of racing through to get to the next thing, whatever that next thing is? Those are things that I think about. I think I've always, to some degree in recent years, thought about those things, but now I feel like it's at the very forefront of my mind. And so I am very cognizant of every single moment. And that is why I feel like it's important to be mindful, understanding that the only thing that we have is the moment that we're in. And I've spent so much of my life in my younger versions of myself thinking about the next moment, planning for the next moment, dreaming about the next moment. Um, so much of who I was so much of my identity was based on what was going to happen in the future, what I was working toward. Now, things on this side of 50 look more like, I'm less concerned about where I'm going and more concerned about where I am. And so, how do I cultivate more mindfulness and more attention to presence than attention to what lies ahead, because I don't know what lies ahead. And I realize more and more it doesn't necessarily matter.